Double busy, getting busy, do. Yo, what's up? It's me, the double busy. Right, let's go for the second episode in the Legend of Tuto Rial. The grumbly, unintelligible voice of the old sales lady calls out to you, sarcastically asking if you're going to just stand there and read the anthology for free. You smirk, asking for enough patience to read one more entry before you decide. She groans, dissatisfied, and turns her attention to another customer. You flip to the next page. The material is the same as before, but something's different. Is it the aged color? The circular stain of an ill-placed drinking mug? Oh, the handwriting. It's exquisite. Such smooth grace in this cursive text. This should be interesting. 18th of Hematite, early summer, of love, the year 100. I am in love. I can't believe it. I'm so giddy with excitement. One could even say I am claspclapped and permutated. I embarked on this journey with all my close friends to get away from the buffoons and beasts of yore. But I found the handsomest, manliest, mansomest dwarf in the entire dimension of griffins. Ral Chamber dwells, our expedition leader. Chamber dwells indeed, wink wink. Oh, you should have seen how nervous he was when he asked me to take care of his first round of bookkeeping. Teehee. I don't care about his mace wielding or sword handling. Don't get me wrong, he's talented, that's for certain. But the way he debates with me, never gives an inch, remembering every relevant counterpoint with complete accuracy. It sends shivers down my spine. I'm so busy, though, I don't get enough time with him. What with all the planting, gathering, and keeping track of our stores. I've even dabbled in woodworking a little, crafting a superior acacia bed, if I do say so myself. Oh, but the endless array of stuff here in Fortress Captain Bisek. Channel Vales, that is. We've begun gathering nature's bounty in preparation for winter already. What an array of fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Nobody better cook up my precious little plumpies either, if they want me to be able to plant more next season. Otherwise they will feel my wrath. At least my mansom Ral is getting everything organized into clear areas for brewing, with a still, plenty of plump helmets and dwarven wine, carving, both wood and stone, and constructing, crafting, even with some cut gems. Everything in bins, nice and neat, easier to store. Even some space for resting. It almost seems like they're preparing for a party down here. Insufferable merrymakers, if you ask me. We can sacrifice all the silliness of old for some good old peace and quiet. Continent of distraction. If we don't focus our efforts, we'll end up being invaded by goblins like our neighboring dwarves, the flickering boulders. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of everything, especially when dwarves are making barrels, brewing wine, and crafting mugs and trinkets every single day. Speaking of which, I need to go have a word with Meb and Ushat about the paucity of goblets and the dearth of dining tables in this fortress. They better get to doing some stone carving. Okay, that's all for our bookkeeper Ezum right now. She's the bookkeeper, she's the planter. One thing is I have to have 2 farm plots. When I selected, I couldn't combine them, so there's a little plot down here and a plot here. It has to do with the rectangular combining. Basically, you cannot combine farm plots like you can with zones. I think because it's a construction and not a zone. I have a lot of specific stockpiles. So like this one is just for stonework or supply, because I want to make sure I always see that there's some supply available. This one's going to be finished goods, but it's really specific to stone stuff. I just have to make sure I have all the types and qualities selected. This is going to be finished wood goods like barrels and bins. So wood supply is going to go here. I want to make sure I always see some wood supply. Same thing here. This is just plump helmets, and it's not called plump helmet wine. It's just called dwarven wine. So you have to watch out for that. Bins going to be full of finished goods, and this is nice because earrings, bracelets, scepters, crowns, none of the mugs or other junk is getting in there. So it was a good thing that in this stockpile I was very specific about everything except for goblets and only stone stuff. And that's all being carved and made here. The jeweler is making, or cutting gems rather, and once they're cut they can go inside of a bin so you can store a lot of them. I'm going to make a little space here for raw gems just because I want to be able to visually see if we have any. But another cool thing I figured out is if you go into work orders and let's say you want to cut gems, and then you come over here and you go to this for making like very specific things and you try to do material, see how there's no numbers here? That means I don't have any rough gems out and about. Let's see, to show you another way, let's imagine, see how I have barrels and bins? So let's go into barrel, let's go material, and oh, that didn't work. Wait a minute, it worked last time. Was it type? Was it adjusting this? No. Huh, well, that worked last time I looked at it that way. Oops, sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what you can do is set the material used or other details of the task. Okay, so let's imagine that we want to cut some gems, but I don't know if I actually have any rough gems sitting around. No, I don't have any by using that. But here, oh, there's 57 chert available for rock. There's 9 wood available for wood. So there we go. So I'm not going to set a cutting gem task because that's going to be a little more rare. I'm going to make this stockpile, put rough gems in it, and when I see rough gems, then I'll go to that work order, create one to cut gems, click on this to figure out how many I have, and then adjust the number up or down to match that. Otherwise, I'm going to be getting all kinds of notifications over here on the left of the screen about failing tasks, and that's just annoying. I don't mind the daily you succeeded, like making a mug or making a craft, because I want to see those things happening, and I want to know if those things get messed up or paused. Eventually, I'm going to make this into a dining hall. I need tables, chairs, and I need to explore and learn more about how dining halls work, because dining halls are going to be different than taverns and inns. So I'll have to see how that works. Alright, last but certainly not least, I need to make bedrooms, but I need to smooth and engrave the floors and walls before I put furniture in them. So that's one mistake I've made. Okay, see you on the next one. Double busy, do do do, getting busy, do 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 do.